Good morning, retail traders. This is Washboardjim with a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And right now, I'm kind of looking at AMC as a short squeeze. I'm not a fan of AMC, but I've been watching it real closely, watching it pull back. And we have pulled back to a very good support level. I called $2 and we hit $2.38. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this chart up. This is AMC. You know, they got good popcorn and they like to show off Taylor Swift's ass, and movies just ain't as good as they used to be. But I heard someone told me today that they saw a movie the other day and they liked it. So I don't go to movies. I play guitar instead. I haven't watched a movie since Chicken Run. But I do trade stocks, and when I see an opportunity, I want to talk about it. So we've got a chart here. Now, earnings are coming out on the 8th after hours. Consensus says that they're going to be better, but not great. But it is an improvement, and that's what matters, I think, on a trade like this. You look at this kind of trade as a momentum trade. There are going to be rooms in this trade because it's a well-known meme stock. And GME was running like a Dickens. And just knowing the habit of some traders and how we trade, retail traders, I think that some of them people that made a ton of money on GMC might throw a little wad over here on AMC because this chart looks charming. And I love charts. But when I see something that I think's getting ready to squeeze, I want to point it out. So in the news, we got what analysts' predictions for key metrics reveal about AMC Entertainment. Key metrics. Earnings per share, that's indicated decrease of 52%. Now I've heard 38. So 52, 38, somewhere around there. Still bringing in the bucks, just under $1 billion. And that's representing a decrease of 3% year over year. Now, I heard something different. Increase of 52 compared to last year period. So I don't know. But I do love the chart. And I've always said this is a chart that's going to be run by momentum and squeeze. So let's go ahead and get to the chart, and we'll make this short and sweet. This is the 1 hour time frame, and I think that's all I need to know. Just put a couple trend lines on here, and I'm ready to go. Now, we did break above the 200 on the 1 hour, and that's used as a pivot point area. So this week, if we can respect that 200, I think we can go ahead and run this thing on up and find resistance to break right here. This is an inverse head and shoulders. You got your left shoulder, you got your head, you got your right shoulder bouncing off the 200, and then you got your second right shoulder. So that's the perfect sweet spot to take this up on a 1, 2, 3. Now I've been telling people about sweet spots. A sweet spot, like in a baseball bat, and it's the same thing with a chart, with a pattern. There's a certain part of that pattern that has a sweet spot, and that's on the number 3. So I'm teaching this room how to count to 3, and we got a triple top breakout here. If I can get this move right. There we go. And we just barely busted above it. So if we can bring some momentum to this trade, and I think we will, I really do. I think the Reddit's going to start doing their thing with this stock. It's a meme stock, and it's cheap, real cheap. So we got to break resistance tomorrow at around 350, 351. Now, if we can gain respect off this trend line, which is a 1, 2, 3, and I talk about this strategy, we're right at the sweet spot. I know because I've traded these patterns for a very long time, and I've developed a great system. And then you've got the head and shoulders, and I talk about the head and shoulders. You got the left shoulder, right shoulder, and then another right. That second right's the sweet spot. If we come back down again, we just have to wait a couple of days before this thing starts to maybe break out. We got a falling wedge off an inverse head and shoulders with a 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 reasons to take this trade, And number 4 is we're above the 200 SMA on the 1 hour time frame. Again, we're going to watch the 9 cross the 21. Now, if this can respect the 9 on the 1 hour time frame and we start getting a widening of these here 2 bars, we can go ahead and have a pretty nice squeeze. It is starting to widen. So that's another reason. That's catalyst number 5 to take this trade. And when I come across 5 catalysts to take a trade, I'm going to take the trade. I'm in the trade at 250. So, just kind of think about that. I've been calling this trade back to $2 and we hit 238. So that's it. I think we're going to go ahead and break out to this 350. And then on the same time frame, you have another inverse head and shoulders right here. So this is what you got to do. Take that catalyst there and run it to that and stick that down there to the right. And that becomes a trend line. And that's right at that resistance level. So this is number 6. If we can break this line, we're definitely going to shoot this thing on up to a higher catalyst. And I think this thing can get long this week. We could probably see this 2-headed snake up here. I'm not going to say this week, but we could see 457. And then that lower support right about in there, right around 420. That's a good spot. Then I'll go in the back and take me a 1 hit. So we've got the 1, 2, 3 breakout set up with an inverse head and shoulders off the 200 with a 9 crossing the 21 with a broadening spread. And double top here at resistance. If we break 350, we can go to 421 this week. And that's AMC. This is the Sneaky Snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. Thank you.